Hi guys, and welcome to a new video battle report of X-Wing. This is Veldrin, and today I'm bringing you a battle report from our latest casual game night. On your left you have Mårten who you've seen plenty of before. He's the reigning regional champion here in Malmö, Sweden, and he is flying Soontir, Carnor Jacks, and a Royal Guard pilot, and they all have pushed the limit, Royal Guard TIE title, Autothrusters, and stealth device. And on your right you have me, Kristofer, and I am flying Captain Oicunn with Darth Vader and Rebel captive crews, as well as seismic charges. And I've got two Scimitar Squadron pilots with proximity mines and an Academy pilot. I'm moving up my squad here, and I'm going to barrel roll to the right here, staying on the outside of that corner asteroid. And then I'm gonna just bring up Captain Oicunn just behind them, keeping my squad together for now and seeing if I can get his interceptors to have to navigate through the asteroid field to get to me. Mårten moves up his Royal Guard pilot there and then boosts, getting in between the rocks there. Next up is Carnor Jacks, and he's doing a 5 straight, probably also followed by a boost here. Yep, there it is. Staying in a tight, nice formation there, between those two rocks there. And Soontir does a 2 forward. And then we're on to the next turn here. My Academy is banking into there, getting in between those two asteroids in the center. Maybe having a shot in case Soontir comes in too close. And I'm probably thinking here about if I should barrel roll or if I should focus. And a focus it is. Generally speaking, when in doubt, it seems to be the safest thing to do is to focus. And then the TIE bombers do a 2 forward here. Planning to hard turn the next turn if needed, or just keep going if the enemy fighters are too far away. We do a barrel roll to make sure that hard turn is easier to accomplish next turn in case I'm going into the asteroid field, and the other Scimitar is following suit. And then Captain Oicunn does a 1 straight there, just idling behind his screen. And the Royal Guard pilot is doing a 5 straight. Mårten is really trying to get in close as quick as possible to get as many dice on the Decimator at once, because if all 3 of his ships fire, he'll be able to take it down really quick, and it's followed up by a boost. Carnor Jax is next, and he's doing a 5 straight, which will put him just next to him, and then I'm guessing he'll do a boost here, 1 bank left to get ahead of his own squad mate there. Yeah, there's the boost. We're just gonna put the Royal Guard to the side to avoid any unnecessary bumping there. And it's followed up by a barrel roll to try to avoid the rocks there, cutting in just between those rocks straight ahead of him. And then we have Soontir Fell, who is doing a 1 hard to the left, staying safely outside of range for now. He's probably thinking about the future turns here, trying to get in as good a position as possible for now. And he might be boosting barrel rolling here, using Soontir's possible actions to get the best possible placement for next turn here. And there is a 1 straight boost. So we're on to the combat phase here, and checking if there's arc here. Range is for sure, but I think he's out of arc on Soontir here. We'll see, we're going to bring in the laser. And probably see, yeah, he's got no arc on the Academy pilot there. So next up is Carnor Jax. Looks like a range 3 without a rock on the Academy there. Here's the laser again, just making sure. Looks like no rock. And we'll see what we agree upon. So we have, looks like 1 crit. And here's my defense roll. Looks like a lot of dice, since it was 23 and probably a rock then. So 1 evade was enough. And then it's the Royal Guard pilot. 3 hits, spending the focus, and getting 1 evade and spending my focus for no hits. Measuring for my Academy here, range 3 through a rock on Soontir with Autothrusters on the stealth device, which means he's not gonna hit. So 1 hit, and yeah, Soontir is safe. And here we realize that we forgot to check the Captain Oicunn. So he's shooting at Carnor Jax, range 3 through a rock. So he's probably not going to hit anything, but he's got a Vader crew. And that was 3 hits, but 1, 2, and 3 from Autothrusters, so no hits. Stealth device is safe, but 1 crit, which is a minor explosion, but it was just 1. Then we can move on to the planning phase of the next turn. I'm hard turning my academy here, hoping to get in the way of the Carnor Jack that he's going to blast in really close otherwise. And fortunately I land just on the rock and I take a hit. Next up I'm going to hard turn 3 my Scimitar bombers here, hoping to either get a shot off, at least with the back one, or be in a position to drop my proximity mines in the next turn, depending on, of course, how Mårten moves his interceptors here. I'm just slow moving Oicunn here, 1, because I'm thinking that Soontir will go to the left, or that big rock to the left, and hopefully I can ram him next turn with Oicunn, and well, we'll see. Mårten does a 4 straight, clearing stress with his Royal Guard. And then he barrel rolls to have a good position to go around that top right asteroid next turn. And focus, push the limit, and then it's Carnor Jacks. He too does a 4 straight there, clearing the stress and just missing my blocking attempt with the academy there, and that means he's going to be within range 1 and taking away all my focus actions there, so he's probably going to be able to boost in even to get really close to Oicunn there. Yeah, there's the 1 straight boost, and then I'm predicting that he will focus well, if I remember correctly here. Push the limit focus. Yes. Soontir does a 3 straight there, and placing him more or less where I'm thinking he's going, so I can ram him next turn. Well, that's my plan at least. He boosts in to have shots, and only risking gaining shot back by Captain Oicunn there. And there's an evade from push to the limit, and then he gets focus from his ability. And we're into the combat phase, and Mårten realizes that since I have Rebel Captive, he can get the focus by just attacking and then getting the focus from his ability instead of pushing the limit and all that shenanigans. And since this is casual game night, we just said sure, change, nothing has happened in between. And well, he rolls 3 natural hits, so that's 3 hits on Oicunn, which means he's into his first hull damage since he used Vader once. And then it's Carnor Jack's attack at range 1 here. So looks like 2 hits, a crit and an eyeball, and Mårten is contemplating if he should spend the focus or not. He decides to keep the focus, so 2 hits and a crit. And the crit is of course the one that removes my pilot ability, so I will be unable to damage Soontir Fell next turn by ramming him. So Oicunn is down to 8 hull left, and then it's the Royal Guard pilot here, measuring here, so it looks like range 2, maybe even range 3. And let's see if he spends his focus for 2 more hits. So, and range 3 for 1 evade. So things are not looking good for me here, and I'm thinking this is probably my last shot with the Decimator here, because next turn all 3 enemy interceptors fire before me, so I have to pick my target carefully. So I decide to go for Carnor Jack, since he's closest, give me 4 dice, which means I got 2, and he of course evades them. I use Vader, 2 more damage on me, and he gets the crit that gives him something, I don't remember which one it was. So I hard turn 2 with my academy here, trying to get in behind the Royal Guard pilot there. Maybe get a lucky shot through, since the academy failed at his blocking attempt previous turn. He'll try to make up for it. Then we'll do the bombers. The backmost bomber, that's a 5k, since I found myself in a really difficult position there. There's really no way to get those proximity mines off without them triggering on my own ships or somewhere where he will definitely avoid them. Not my finest flying here, but trying to make up for it. And the other Scimitar does 1 straight there, and hoping that in case Soontir does a hard 2 turn here, he'll be behind me, and next turn perhaps I could get a proximity mine off. And well, I'm thinking on a action here, but I think I will decide to just give him focus. Not really much room to battle roll anyway. Captain Oicunn decides to drop his seismic charge here, as this is probably his last turn alive, so otherwise I won't have a chance to get it off. And then he would have liked to do a bank into Soontir, but since the crit took away my pilot ability last turn, I'm just doing a 1 bank, maybe be able to bump in case Soontir does a bank as well there. And I decide to target lock Soontir in case I have a chance to shoot at him. Mårten's Royal Guard pilot does a 2-bank to the left, clearing stress and getting right into the blast area of my seismic charge. And then he boosts and uses push the limit to get a focus for a range 1 shot on Oicunn. Carnor jacks does a 2-bank to the left there. I think the crit he took was that the hard turns are red, so that's why he's banking instead and clearing stress. And then he's going to barrel roll, so he will be able to shoot at Oicunn as well. And there it is. And Soontir does a 2 hard to the left, clearing his stress, which he just passed on to Carnor. And that means if Oicunn lives, I will get a shot at him at least, with target lock. And after a lot of deliberation with himself there, Mårten decides to focus evade, push the limit, and another evade as well, or another focus as well. So Carnor jacks, gets just one. Oh, we forgot the seismic charge as well, so 1 damage to that one, and 1 hit from Carnor. So next up is the Royal Guard pilot at range 1 on Captain Oicunn. And that looks like 1 hit, 1 focus and 1 crit, so 2 hits and a crit. Which means I'm going to get 10 hits, and the 11th one is the critical hit, and it was a direct hit, which means the Decimator is down without getting that final possibility of a shot here. So this all leaves me with 1 shot from the bomber that catered at Carnor jacks, and doesn't have the best odds here, so looks like 1 hit. and that's easily evaded. My Academy 3 hard turns, and then decides to barrel roll in to hopefully have a shot at one of the enemy interceptors. The bomber does a hard 3 to the right, cutting around the big asteroid there and hopefully getting a shot of next turn. The other bomber does a 3 straight, clearing his stress, and hopefully setting up a hard 3 next turn, in which he can drop his proximity mine. Takes a focus, both of them, and then the Royal Guard pilot does a hard 2. So he bumps into my Scimitar bomber, which means that next turn my bomber will be able to drop a proximity mine on that one if I decide to do so, and if the bomber lives, of course. Carnor Jax also does a hard 2 to the left, so the crit was not that turned his turns red. It was something else. Maybe it was console fire or something. That's why he used push the limit twice last turn, or not push the limit twice, but took 2 actions without getting a focus. Push the limits to focus, and Soontir hard turns as well, and then he'll probably boost in a bit. Battle first, at least, and then there's the boost, I guess. Yep. So, looks like a range 3 shot from Soontir on my Scimitar there. So, looks like 2 hits, spending the focus, and the bomber, 2 evades, or 3 evades maybe, well I avoided it anyway. And then Carnor on the same one, 2, and getting 1 evade, so 1 damage on the bomber. And the Royal Guard pilot on the same one, 1, and he got an evade as well there. Then it's my Academy here, 3, looks like 2 hits and a crit, and 2 evades, so 1 crit goes through on the Royal Guard pilot, I believe. And I think it was a munitions failure, so it didn't really matter. So I K-turn my Academy. And my Scimitar bomber does a 1 bank to the left. Getting in perfect position to drop the proximity mine on the Royal Guard pilot there. And Mårten is rolling the dice. And 1, and that was all that was needed. My other bomber also one banks to the right there. Trying to be able to either bump or get in behind the enemy interceptors to avoid taking any shots. Then I decide to barrel roll as well to the right there. To get really close, since the interceptors only have the one hard that is short, and I don't think they're taking that one. Carnor Jacks does the 2 bank, getting past my bomber. And if he stays there, I'll be able to drop my proximity mine on his next turn, so he decides to barrel roll away. And then Soontir does a 2 straight, getting out of arc from my bomber. And then he decides to barrel roll away to get in a better position for next turn. The Academy banks 2 to the right, clearing its stress. And proceeds to barrel roll to get easier in between those rocks. And that Scimitar closer to the enemy interceptors does a 1 straight, and here I decide to drop my proximity mine because I'm thinking I'm not going to live through this turn. I only have 4 or 3 hull left on that bomber, and risking being shot at by both enemy interceptors. And I know I'm not going to hit anything, but maybe, it'll be in the way. I turn the other bomber hard 3 to the left there, hoping to catch Soontir in arc in case he hard turns and barrels backwards to get a shot at my other bomber. And then after some consideration I decide to try to look Jacks instead. I think it's a better chance of having him in arc. And Jacks 1 hard turns to the right, so I will get a shot with the backmost bomber there. And Soontir also 1 hard turns and then barrel rolls, which means I will have 2 interceptors firing at that bomber, and both will probably be range 1, so it looks really bad here for me. So Soontir turtles up before firing, and looks like getting 3 hits with the focus and nothing. So 3 hits. I think it has 1 or 2 hit points left. And Jacks is next. And that's 3 hits and a focus. And he doesn't need all of them. No, I only had 1 hull left, so the bomber is destroyed. So my other bomber is returning fire on Jacks here, 1 hit, target lock, 1 hit, and 2 evades. Okay, the Academy does a 2 straight, cutting in between those asteroids, and focus. And then my bomber is doing a 1 bank, hoping to catch at least one of the enemy interceptors in arc there. And after some deliberation there again, I decide to target lock Jax, who is doing a 2 bank. Looks like he's going to bump into my... Oh, he fit just nicely. So as we can shoot at each other, Mårten decides to turtle up with focused evade with Jax there. And then Soontir is doing a hard 2 and he's banking. And I'll, unfortunately for me, put him on a collision course with his own interceptor instead of with me because he won't fit there. Where Soontir shooting at my bomber there, 2 hits, 1 evade, so it takes the first damage for that bomber. And then it's Carnor, and that looks like 3 hits with focus and 1 evade, so 2 more hits, which means the bomber's down to 3 hull. So my bomber is returning fire here, and I'm shooting at Soontir because he's got no evade token there, and 2 hits and 1 evade. And that means 1 hit goes through on Soontir and takes away his stealth device. We're into the planning phase here, and I think there's not that much I can do. I have taken 1 hit away from Soontir, and I think 1 as well from Carnor, and I need some really lucky dice to pull this one off here. So I hard turn my Academy 2. And my bomber is doing a 5k turn. Fully setting up for another attack run. Still has 3 hit points left, so he could take maybe 1 round of shooting without dying. Carnor did a hard 2 to the right and clearing stress, power-walling away, getting as far away as possible from my bomber there, who's got the target lock on him. And then it's Soontir, does a 5 straight. Or no, I think it's a 5k here. Also trying to get back into the fight as fast as possible. So moving into the combat phase, looks like there is no arc on the academy, or maybe? Yeah, it looks like it. So it's range 3 through a rock. And Soontir's attack dice come up with 1 hit and 1 crit. And enough evades to survive that one. So we're into the planning phase again, and there's not really that much I can do here. Hoping to turn both of my ships, hopefully catching the same interceptor in both arcs, and just hope to get lucky here. So I decide to K-turn my academy, because otherwise I might get too close to the proximity mine or getting away with my own bomber there. And then the bomber goes forward, clearing stress. Take a focus, because if I can get a shot at Jacks, that means I have target lock and focus, and just maybe I can get one of those hits to squeeze by. And Jacks does a 3 bank to the right, and then proceeds to boost to get around the asteroid, get back into the game next turn. Soontir does a 2 straight, setting up for a range 1 shot against my bomber. He'll get 1 back, but if he gets lucky, he can take my bomber out before I can shoot. And then he decides to turtle up just to be safe. Here comes Soontir on the bomber, and that looks like 3 hits with focus. And I evade 1 of those, so I stay alive. 1 hit point, I think. Yep. And my bomber shooting back, hoping for a miracle here, so it's 3 hits. Versus 1 evade, 2 evades, and using the focus as well. So Soontir is unscathed from that attack. And then we're going to see if there is no range from the academy there. Nope. My academy does a 3 straight, clearing stress, hoping to catch Jacks in arc and not getting blown away first. And thinking about action there, but I'm going to do a focus, yeah. And then it's the bomber, who does a 5k. Carnor does a 1 hard, getting right in front of that asteroid. Barrel rolls, range 1 shot on my poor academy, who has no use of his focus since Jax is inside range 1. And he's probably pushing the limit here as well to get a focus, yep. Soontir does a 4 straight, followed by, let's say, a boost, and then maybe I'll just stay there. Yep. So So here comes Carnor Jax, range 1 on the Academy, and 4 hits after he spends his focus. And I get 2 evades, but 2 gets through, and he already took 1 earlier when he hit the asteroid in the beginning. So the Academy is dead without getting a chance to shoot back at Jax. There is no range for my TIE Bomber, and then back to the planning phase here. We have the game is almost out of time here. We have time for 1 or maybe 2 more rounds. I'm doing a 3 straight with my bomber there, clearing the stress. And I have a target lock, so I'm going to take a focus, hoping there's no way for Carnor to get within range 1. And Carnor does a 2 straight, clearing his stress. And then he does a boost. And let's see if he can fit a bell roll there to get within range 1 to take away my focus and blast me into space dust. Soontir does a 3k, gets the stress and the focus, and we're moving into the combat phase. So Carnor come up with 1 hit, maybe it's a crit, and the bomber evades. So return fire from the bomber here, looks like 3 hits and no evades, which means I finally get through Carnor's final hull point. So now it's my bomber versus Soontir, and Soontir has 2 hit points left, and the bomber has 2 hit points, I believe, and this is the final turn. The round is over. I'm moving my TIE Bomber 4 straight, and then I need to barrel roll to get in to maybe have a shot here, depending on what Soontir does, but he decides to do a 4 straight, which means the ships will bump. And that's the end of the game. Victory for Mårten, who had Soontir left, and I only had a Scimitar left. So well played, Mårten, and thank you for watching. And hopefully I'll see you again soon, as I have 1 more game from this casual game night coming up here.